Alright, hello and welcome to our first tutorial of the C language. Today we will be going through how to write out hello world on the command prompt. And in C, I'm using the text editor code blocks, and that's what we will be using in the future videos, but you can also use Visual Studio Code, you can be using Linux or whatever you want. As every text editor, you will always have to include a library in the beginning, and usually the library would be studio.h. And right now, the first thing we want to do is we want to print out hello world, and we always want to include an int main or int hello, whatever you want. Just int main is what I'm going to be using for today because that's the most commonly used one, and two empty parentheses after that. And then we have two curly braces where we're going to be using our printf function. And in this case, we want to say hello world, so we want to say printf. This is what we use every time we want to print something out. We use printf. So printf, two parentheses, and then quotes, hello world. And then we want to have just an exclamation mark, because why not? And every time we end a line of code in C, we always end it with a semicolon. Every time. And when we're done, we can run our program to see what we would get out of this. And as we see on the screen, we have hello world. Now, we could modify this in a few different ways, which I will be going through later, but let's say we want to go through, we want to have two lines. So we want to print f, how are you? Now, if we would print this out, it would say, hello world, how are you, like this. We could add a space in between, which we could do if we added a space over here or a space over here, doesn't matter, but let's add a space over there for now. And then, but let's say we wanted to, you see we have a space there, but let's say we wanted how are you to be below hello world. In that case, we want to add backslash n on the previous row for the actual row that we want to have below. So if I wanted something below this, I would have a backslash n here. And if I wanted this to be below hello world, I would have a backslash n over here. So what this backslash n is going to do is it's going to print everything that is printf after that is going to be printed below. As you see, we have a space here because I have a space over here, but otherwise it looks exactly the same as you would expect it to. And of course, if you want to write something else, you can always just do backslash n and then printf I am well. How are you? Percent %n. It doesn't really have to be backslash n, but doesn't really have to be backslash n since we don't know if we're printing anything out. As long as we have a backslash n over there, and you see it responds, and then of course it closes down the program.